So now that goes into what we see here with Pierre Poilievre on the trade deal, because now that's been announced that Trump's putting the pressure on Canada to put 25% tariffs if they don't fix their border, they don't fix their, national security crisis. If Trudeau doesn't smarten up, I'm going to put these tariffs on. It's putting a lot of pressure on this nation. So Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative opposition, states, "We need a Canada First plan for our economy and security. I have asked the Speaker of the House for an emergency debate on the threat of U.S. tariffs on Canada. Bring it home." And so I'll read some of it here. I don't know if people could see it. I shouldn't have made it bigger, but it says, "Dear Speaker, last night President Donald Trump announced that he will impose a 25% tariff on all Canadian goods exported to the United States on January 20th, 2025. His first day in office, the impacts of these forthcoming tariffs will crush Canadian workers, their paychecks, and the economy. As two-way trade between Canada and the United States accounts for 40% of our economy. Canada needs a plan, and the Prime Minister does not have one. Conservatives are calling for an emergency debate in order for Parliament to address the proposed 25% U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods, the impact it will have on workers and the economy, and the question to the Liberal government on their failings to establish a plan and a path forward on this matter. As the proposed 25% tariffs impacts all the regions of the country and all the sectors of the economy, this issue satisfies all requirements for an emergency debate." So he's calling for an emergency debate to discuss the matters, to really have some sort of counter plan to this proposed tariff that Donald Trump is implementing onto Canada. And it just seems like Justin Trudeau, Chrystia Freeland, and the Liberal caucus doesn't seem to care as much about this as people like Pierre Poilievre or the Canadian workforce, for that matter. So here's what he said. He said this statement to CPAC, not the conservative organization in the United States, but CPAC, the television government channel in Canada here. It's kind of like a C-SPAN network here. Here's what he had to say to Canadians as he is trying to fight on these tariffs. Listen to this.
"Is the greatest economic and military superpower in the history of the world, and they are our neighbor. President Trump yesterday made an unjustified threat of a 25% tariff on our already weak and shrinking economy. Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland were surprised. 20 days ago, Chrystia Freeland said, 'Don't worry, Canada will be fine.' Apparently, neither she nor Justin Trudeau were following what the incoming president was saying. Our economy is teetering on the brink of collapse, and now we face this renewed threat. We need a plan to put Canada first on the economy and on security. So, to start with, on the economy, I'm calling on Prime Minister Trudeau to put partisanship aside and, in the spirit of Team Canada, to accept that he cannot go ahead with quadrupling the carbon tax to 61 cents a litre. This was an irresponsible policy to begin with, but combining this kind of crippling energy tax increase with potential tariffs from Donald Trump would push our economy into a nightmare and a tailspin. So let's put partisanship aside and axe the tax. Second, the Prime Minister has to put aside partisanship and, in the spirit of Team Canada, cancel his energy cap, which would see Alberta and Saskatchewan produce 35% less energy at a time when we need those jobs. It is our biggest industry and our biggest export. The incoming American president says he wants to cut gas prices in half. Well, the only way to do it will be to import more clean Canadian energy, so the Prime Minister has to stop this assault on our biggest industry. Next, he has to cancel all tax increases on work, investment, and making stuff in Canada. About a week ago, Justin Trudeau admitted that he broke our immigration system, and that brings new challenges. His own published documents show there are 4.9 million people here temporarily. We asked what the plan was to track their departures, and yesterday his immigration minister said, we're just going to take people at their word. What is the plan to protect our security and reinstate sovereignty over who is in our country? Military. Justin Trudeau has demolished our military with poor decisions, botched procurements, and wasted money. One thing he could do today is announce that his planned billion-dollar cut to the military is canceled, and then present a real plan to reallocate money away from lower priorities towards rebuilding our military and reinforcing our military security over North America. And finally, on drugs. I don't want to stop drug overdoses to please Donald Trump. I want to stop drug overdoses so that there's not one more mother with her face buried in a pillow sobbing that she just lost her kid after 47,000 other Canadians have died. That's more than we lost in the Second World War. A 200% annual increase in drug overdose deaths have resulted from Justin Trudeau's radical liberalization of drugs. Justin Trudeau must put partisanship aside, not just for the sake of Team Canada, but for the sake of our people, and fully reverse his liberalization of drugs.
So there you go. Now, there is, obviously criticism to what Pierre Poilievre is stating here. There's obviously stuff that we need to, speculate on. When he talks about military spending, we need to rebuild the military. I hope that includes, cutting back on foreign affairs, cutting back on, our alliance to NATO, or endless spenders on Ukraine and Israel, and bring back the troops to focus on, domestic defense. That would be a great idea. That's something that I would propose. I don't know if that's his intention, but I give credit to the fact that Pierre Poilievre has at least some sort of plan. Like, he's stating up front and says, listen, we need to come to the table. We need to cut this, partisan crap. We need to come to the table, come to a negotiation, come to some sort of agreement that benefits working Canadians, so that when we prepare to talk with Donald Trump, we can come planned and prepared. And that makes the most, rational sense compared to what the Liberals are contemplating right now, which is shake it off. Simply just shake it off. Shake it off. Because that's all they do. That's all they're doing right now. Justin Trudeau partying with Taylor Swift, and Chrystia Freeland just going there, yeah, everything's going to be good. Don't you worry. Don't worry. I know people have anxiety. I know, butter's $10 right now. But don't worry. Don't worry. We have everything under control. We have everything under control. Don't say anything or I'll take your bank account away. So, again, say what you want about this guy. I have some inquiries. I have some, speculation on who this guy is and what the party represents. But I give the credit to the fact that at least he's proposing something. And where's Trudeau on this? Just absolutely nowhere.